You guys having a good day? Good Comic-Con day? Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's a good day. Absolutely. First time.
What do you think?
Oh man, it's a madhouse.
You've got a couple shows going on too.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm committed to doing the Comic-Con for this one, but yes, I know that Once Upon a Time is here, and I know that Breaking Bad is here. We're all having a good time. I'm blessed to have been on both of those shows this year.
So speaking of Breaking Bad, this is quite a departure from your role on that show. Are you looking forward to making such a drastic change?
Absolutely. I was ready. I mean, I'll always love my Breaking Bad family, and I know they're in the last stages of their 5th season, and may get a chance to go back. Who knows what they have in store, but I'm excited to be playing a character, Captain Tom Neville, who is a little bit more animated than Gustavo Fring, and yet is a heavy and is a bad guy who wants to keep the peace and enforce the morality of this new world, of this new dramatic world of Eric Kripke's. I like it. I think he's going to be a real fun character. You're going to really like it. You might like to hate him, but you might love him a little more after you see a few episodes, because you might see things that he does that are actually for good, even though they seem like they're not. There's nothing that's black and white. I think I love characters that aren't just black and white. That you sort of see them in one light, but then you realize, oh, he did that because of this, and that's really going to help someone. That's really going to help save someone from either pain or sorrow, whatever it is. So I like guys who might be looked at as completely bad, but who have more of a heart underneath it that you don't really see to begin with. So that's a character. That's someone who's more complicated, not just cut and dry. And I think that Neville is that guy. He's doing something for a noble reason.
Yeah, are we going to get to see those shades of gray early on, or is that going to really play out over the season?
I believe you're going to start to see it early on.
Okay.
I believe you're going to start to see it very, very soon. And you're going to understand that it might not make you feel like he's a good guy, but you certainly will feel like, oh, he's something more than just your cookie-cutter bad guy. And I think he's very intelligent, very knowledgeable, and he's lived a great life. I think this is part of his dream. He's an insurance adjuster, which gives him the ability to read people very well and tell whether or not they're telling the truth or not. And I think when he is not being told the truth, he doesn't like it. And so he, in a way, that's upstanding, and he wants honesty. He wants truthfulness when he asks you something. If you don't tell him what that truth is, he has the ability to hurt you. But I don't think he was always that way. I think he's a guy who was basically an intellectual, smart guy who probably was a little bit of a physical weakling as a kid. Then he had this opportunity when the power went out was tapped into the Monroe Republic and had the opportunity to build this other side of himself. I think he's probably surprised himself that he may like what he does now much better than he did before, because now he is in a position of power and leading men, and he is the guy who has to pull the trigger when someone's stepping out of line. But he's also doing it for a reason that's trying to build this new society. And whether or not the boss he works for, the Monroe Republic, is good or not, we don't know. We'll have to find that out. But I know that as far as Neville's concerned, my feeling right now is he's doing it for a very good reason. That's to have people start to care more for each other and take care of each other a little bit more. But someone has to keep the peace.
But don't you think the best bad guys are the ones who don't know that they're bad guys because they truly believe what they're doing is right?
Absolutely. I would have to go with that. I think that Tom Neville really believes what he's doing is noble, and that he is guiding the way to teach people how to return to a simpler way of living. And they have to figure out how to do that and do it well. And people in our world of revolution don't necessarily want to do it that way. And he also is coupled with another task, and the other task is to find out what happened to the power. What happened that day when the power went out? And we know that there is power. It exists somewhere. And so he's been entrusted to find that power. And I think he knows he's going to get close to finding it. And if he does, then he and the Monroe Republic, specifically Sebastian Monroe, could rule the world and take over everything. Whether that's for good or bad, we don't yet know.
How do you feel about the physicality of the role? I mean, you're shooting, you're horseback riding, you're doing something different potentially. Well, like some of it's from Once Upon a Time, but do you like that aspect of the role?
I really do. I love the idea and the fact that this guy rides a horse and rides it well. I love that. I've always wanted to be in a Western. I've always wanted to, be someone who has, 2 6 guns on my hip. In this case, it's a Desert Eagle that's, sidearm. I also think he's a master sword fighter. I think he's probably going to be developed into being a very good swordsman. But I think he taught himself all of that. But that's all exciting to me. I think it's exciting for an audience as well. To be able to go through this world that has a semblance of the old, as Eric would put it, a sword fight in front of a dilapidated Starbucks is kind of an interesting thing, or on a cracked asphalt street in the middle of Chicago or some other city is interesting because we could imagine that. We could imagine this happening. And I think that in this world, it's going to have us look at ourselves in a different way and have us investigate our values and ask ourselves, are we survivors? Would we actually survive? Would I survive? Would I be one of the strong ones? And would I help someone else survive as well? You had a question?
How was it working with JJ and Favreau?
This is a great team. JJ has such a great track record of being such a great creator. He trusts Eric implicitly, who's written and conceived this piece. Favreau is an absolute dream to work with. JJ will be coming down a little bit more as we start to shoot the series. Jon Favreau is an actor who knows our language and really has a good sense of how, especially being here at Comic-Con, I think of him because he's an Iron Man. He has a sense of how to create this world, and he is a guy who allows creativity, allows you to have your own ideas, and doesn't mix them, tries them, which is great. It's a great thing. So I think we have a really fantastic team on this, including incredible actors. So I think it's a very exciting show, and you'll see it soon. You've probably all seen the pilot already, but you'll start to see how it unfolds. You haven't seen it yet? You'll see it soon.
No, I can't wait.
Thank you.